Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Santa Anita Park. Here on Saturday, it is the 7th of January 2023. It's Cal Cup Day from Santa Anita, and we're going to look at all the stakes races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes races 1, 6, 7, 8, and 10. The first race, it is the Don Valparaiso California Cup Sprint. It's going for a $150,000 purse. Races for Calbreds 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of, field of 6 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground here of 1,200 meters, if you want to go by that, or the 6 furlong trip on the on the Santa Anita main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs here in the Cal Cup Sprint. And years ago, the Cal Cup used to be run in late October during the Oak Tree at Santa Anita meeting. I don't know why they started moving these races to January. I think the first year they moved it to January was when, if I'm not mistaken, California Chrome actually won the Cal Cup Derby, went on to run in the Derby prep races locally. So that was like 2014. So I just I thought it was a weird time of year. I think they could run it later in the year also, but that's off subject. My top selection here, I'm going to take the 2 horses Big City Lights. 2, 5, 4, 6 for me in the superfecta. 2, 5, 4, 6 super. Top selection 2 horse Big City Lights. For a colt by Mr. Big. Dick Mandela trains. Juan Hernandez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came to Cary Grant here at Del Mar. 7 furlongs on the 19th of November. And the horse finished second by 3 1/4 lengths that day. He set the pace that day. He got caught late, but he didn't go down without the fight. I do think 7 was just a little bit too long for him. Cutting back to 6. If he could show his speed here, I think he's the fastest horse. I'm going to use him here today. Excuse me. Just want to chug that drink beforehand. It's going to all come up. 2 back, he ran the E.B. Johnson at Los Al, 1 mile on the 17th of December. Or September. He finished second by 1 1/4 lengths that day. And from the rail, he didn't break so well. Had to be quarter horse to get good position after that. He set the pace, but then he just couldn't keep up late. Like I said, I just don't think he's a 1 mile kind of horse. I think 6 is his better trip. And then the real good deal stakes at Del Mar, 7 furlongs, 5th of August. He won by 1 1/4 lengths. Again, he didn't break well, but he slowly recovered after that, set the pace, and he got home easily, and earning an 86 buyer. First start as a 3-year-old. First start off the nearly 14-month bench. Before that, he ran in the Fasig Tipton Maturity at Santa Anita, 5 furlongs on the 20th of June of 2021, where he won by 7.5 lengths. And on the front end all throughout, he won quite easily. But coming here today at 8 to 5, I think he's a very likely winner. I'm going to single him to start off the pick 5. So to recount my selection for the opener from Santa Anita, it's the Don Valparaiso California Cup Sprint. Let's take the 2 horse Big City Lights, 2, 5, 4, 6 super. Let's go single the 2 horse in the multi-race. To race number 6 now from Santa Anita, the 6th race, it is the Sunshine Million Filly and Mare Turf Sprint. It's going for a purse of $150,000. Race for Calbreds, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field here of, field of 9 horses going to the Hillside Turf Course, the distance of ground of 1,300 meters, or the distance of ground of about 6 1/2 furlongs down the Santa Anita Hillside Turf Course. 1,300 meters, about 6 1/2 furlongs here in the Sunshine Million Filly and Mare Sprint. Of course, if you all remember, the Sunshine Millions years ago used to be California versus Florida, and they would run these races for both, simultaneously on the same day between Gulfstream and California, and those are very exciting races. I wish they would bring those back because that was basically kind of early on in the Sunshine Million history, I guess. They would have the races broadcast on NBC. The races would be worth quite a bit of money, like $1 million classic. The turf race was worth like 3/4 or $500,000, and it was always good, exciting races. I think after the recession, they got rid of that in 2008 or 9. But my dream is for them to bring back the Sunshine Millions, because I thought that was a great idea and a great kind of fun day at the races. Spent many days at Aqueduct as a kid watching the Sunshine Millions, but especially the year they won. Who was it? Mies Tijors won at 70-1 with Jorge Chavez in like 2005 or 4 or 6, something like that. I remember watching that at Aqueduct, in the dark at Aqueduct, because it was a very gloomy day. So that's something I'd always remember. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 5 horse, Eddie's New Dream. 5314 for me in the superfecta. 5314 super. Top selection of 5 horse Eddie's New Dream. 5-year-old mare by Square Eddie. Mario Gutierrez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in the Grade 1 Matrix Del Mar 1 mile on the 4th of December. And the horse finished 8th by 11 3/4 lengths that day. And he just kind of stalked and never really had the turn of foot. He wasn't getting the mile trip. Definitely wasn't getting the mile trip against those Grade 1 quality horses. Refreshing and going down the hillside where he likes running. I think the horse is in a better spot to win. Two back in the California Distaff handicap at Santita, 6.5 down the hill on the 15th of October. The horse won by a half a length, and he stalked the pace that day. He quickened up nicely, and he got the job done. A very good race there. Major improvement off the race before, which was the John McBee at Del Mar over the mile and the 8th. He finished 6 by 8 lengths that day, and he just really had nothing. He's a horse, he's just not getting the mile and the 8th trip, but when he gets down the hill, that's where he really shows up. He actually won the Irish O'Brien last year down the hill, and first start down the hill in the Sunshine Million Sprint last year. He finished third by 4 3/4 lengths. We had a very little bit of a wide trip, but refreshing here today with a better post draw. I think it's 7-2. He's coming to this race well, and I think she's a very likely winner. The 3-horse Alice Marble is your second likeliest winner for Phil Diamato. Most recently off the bench, going 5 on the turf at Del Mar in option 100. The horse finished third by 1 1/4 lengths that day. And have the best of trips down the backstretch and breaking out of the gate, which cost her. Refreshing and going down the hill today, where she ran very well, winning the Wishing Well last year, placing this race last year, and had a good second in the Monrovia. Another horse, I think, she should get a good trip, and a 5-2 wouldn't surprise me also if she gets the job done. Let's use her in that pick 4 or pick 5. But to recount my selection for the 6th from Santa Anita, it is the Sunshine Million Filly Mares Turf Sprint. Let's take the 5-horse here, Eddie's New Dream. Give kudos to the 3-horse Alice Marble. 5314 Super. 5-3 in your multi-race. The 7th race now from Santa Anita. It is the California Cup Derby. It's going for a $200,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds here. Field of 7 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or the mile 16th trip on the Santa Anita main track. 1,700 meters, mile 116th here in the Cal Cup Derby. Top selection, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse here, Giver Not a Taker. Going to go 4-2-6-7 in the superfecta. 4-2-6-7 super. Top selection of 4 horse, Giver Not a Taker. 3-year-old Gelding by Danzing Candy. Peter Miller trains one. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came to 18th of December at Los Al, 1 mile in the King Gloria Stakes, and the horse went by a head that day, and he basically had a dream position, stalking a quick pace. When he got the job done, he had to be used a lot, but he got the job done. A very good race, earning a 70 buyer. Refreshing to hear against these horses, not the world's toughest group again. I think he should get a good trip, and I think he could win. 2 back in the Golden State Juvenile at Santa Anita, 7 furlongs, 29th of October. He finished second by a length that day. He stalked. He had the lead after drifting that day, and then he just got overtaken. What can you do? He has to keep a straight course. And then they took the horse to the Zuma Beach before that, Santa Anita on the lawn, 1 mile there. He finished 9th by 15 and 3/4 lengths there, and he had a steady trip, and he just wasn't getting into it. I thought those turf horses were very tough, but back facing Southern California breds, I think he's in a better spot. I'm gonna single him in the multis. So to recap my selection for the 7 from Santina, it is the California Cup Derby. Let's take the 4 horse, Giver Not a Taker, 4-2-6-7 super. Let's single the 4 horse in the multis. The 8th race now from Santa Anita. It is the California Cup Oaks. It's going for a $200,000 purse. Races for Calbreds, 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of field of how many horses entered? 9 horses entered, but we'll be down to a field of 8 because the 5 horses a scratch. Going to the turf course again. The distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or mile on the Santa Anita turf course. 1,600 meters, a mile on the turf. Rails are out 10 feet today, so just keep that in mind. My top selection, I'm going to take the 9-horse Cast Member. Let's go 9-3-8-1 in the superfecta. 9-3-8-1 super. Top selection, 9-horse Cast Member. This 3-year-old filly by Munnings, Tim Yakteen trains. John Velasquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 11th of December at Los Al. Wet, fast, but seal going. 1 mile in the Soviet Problem Stakes. And the horse went by 1 1/4 lengths that day and basically just stalked at a little bit of a wide trip, but he got away late. At 70 cents a dollar, he was supposed to win, and he won quite nicely. Stepping on turf, there are some turf pedigree on the dam side with Artie Schiller. She definitely gets the mile trip. I expect this horse to run well, and I think she's going to get a good trip to win. Two back on the 29th of October at Santita, 7 furlongs in the Golden State Juvenile Fillies. She won by a length that day, and again, was a little bit wide, but she got the job done grinding it out to the victory. And then on debut on the 3rd of September for State Breds in the main special weight at Del Mar over the 6, she won by 3, and again, from a tracking position, stalked quite nicely, and she went away with it. It's definitely been on the improve. Coming to turf today, I'm going to give her a shot here. I think the 3 horse here, Grazed My Heart is your second likeliest winner for Hector Berrios. Most recently in the Soviet Problem over the mile, he finished second by 1/4 lengths. Didn't break well, was drifting that day, but was gaining a little ground, but should have kept a straight course. And then prior to that, on the turf in the main special weight over the mile, winning by a length again, had a little traffic trouble, but he got the job done. The 2 turf races weren't bad at all. Should get a good trip here at 4-1. Let's use him in that late pick 4. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Santa Anita, it is Cal Cup Oaks. Let's take the 9 horse cast member. Give kudos to the 3 horse Grazed My Heart. 9-3-8-1 Super. 9-3 in your multi race. The nightcap, the 10th race from Santa Anita. It is the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. It's going for a $200,000 purse. Races for state breds, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses going to the Santa Anita main turf course. Well, starting on the main track, actually, if you want to think about it. But they are going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or a mile and 1/8 on the turf course. 1,800 meters, a mile 1/8 here in the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 5 horse here, Kings River Knight. Let's go 5-1-8-4 in the superfecta. 5-1-8-4 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Kings River Knight. 5-year-old going by acclamation. Andy Mathis trains this one. Frankie Dettori gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 11th of December at Golden Gate. Mile 16th on the Tapeta in a lounge race, 41,000. And he finished second by 1.5 lengths that day. He just stalked all the way around the race course, had the lead, but then he just got overtaken. He just couldn't keep the momentum late. Coming to turf here, should get a good tracking trip over the mile and 1/8. I think this horse can improve, and I think he can get a good run. Getting Frankie Dettori up also doesn't kill at all. 2 back on the 12th of November at Golden Gate, 1 mile in the lounge race, 41,000. He finished second by 3.5 lengths that day and was just a little bit wide, but was gaining late. Maybe a little bit quicker pace could suited him well there. And then the 1st of October at Golden Gate on the turf, 1 mile in the lounge race, 41,000. Winning by 1.25 lengths from a tracking position. He got the turn of foot, and he got the job done. A very good race there. He actually won 3 in a row, beginning with the 20th of July race at Del Mar, going a mile in main special weight, winning by 2.5 lengths, easy race. Came back to win at Del Mar, going mile 16th in a state bred optional 62, or a state bred optional 22, excuse me. He won by 3/4 length again, a little bit wide, but getting the job done. He didn't make the debut until his 4-year-old campaign, but back to the 5-year-old campaign today, training well. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets the job done here at 6-1. I think your second likeliest winner here is the 1 horse Alejato for Flavian Pratt and Mark Ladd. Most recently going a mile 16th. He had a very troubled trip there at Del Mar, and then down the hill. He just, again, had a very troubled trip and then braked so well. He won this race last year from a good tracking trip. Likes running here. If he finds the easy trip, he's definitely going to win, but he finds mistakes sometimes, or finds the troubled trip, it seems. It's not caused by other horses. It seems like it's caused by him, but he could also get the job done on ability. But to recount my selection for the 10th from Santa Anita, it's the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. Let's take the 5 horse Kings River Knight. Give kudos to the 1 horse Alejato. 5-1-8-4 super. 5-1 in your multi race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.